And we're back.
And we're back. Hopefully everyone can see us. I'm gonna give Megan a second to tell us. She's probably kind of busy, or maybe y'all in the comments can see if you're hearing us. Hey, I think they can
And
see
two.
us. Go. Okay, fantastic. Well, welcome y'all to our very first live. Um, this is going to be a really fun place for us to get to spend some time in our new Village of Nothing Much app. Sometimes it will be something more formal like this, like today I'm interviewing Bob, and other times it'll be more casual. We might just hang out and chitty chat and work on a craft project together, have a cup of coffee together. But today, for the very first live we ever did, I thought it just has to be me and Bob. We are the OGs of the village. Nothing much. Bob has been with me since the very beginning. He was the very first person I called when I had this idea. And I want to point out that even if you are very familiar with my voice, um, every single episode you have ever heard, you have also heard the work of Bob Wittersheim. So he's an integral part of the process. And before we
Intricate
even get
too.
intricate too, yeah, he is very detail orientated. um, and before we get into my questions, Bob, my first thought was just when we had this, or I'm sorry, my first thought is how you describe yourself to other people when
Oh,
you
right.
meet them. Yes.
I say I'm a producer of a moderately successful podcast, and then if they want to know more, I tell them what it is, and they've very rarely heard of it in advance, which I always find weird considering how many listeners we must have.
Yeah.
But that's how I present it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still find that people don't know what sleep podcasting is?
Um, no. When I say it's a sleep podcast, people usually shake their head. I think there's enough of them now.
Yeah,
Um,
and I would just like to point out that it exists. We created this genre. And not us alone, but when we started, there was one
yeah.
other sleep podcast, and now it is
Hmm.
a whole section of podcasts. So when people hear about it, you know, it's because of us.
I have to think so. Yeah.
So let's go back to the very beginning.
Hmm.
That very first conversation that we had, I wonder what you remember about that, what I might have said to describe it.
Well, I had heard about an earlier version of the project, and so when you told me about it, it wasn't completely unfamiliar to me. But then you had at least arrived at the point where you thought it should be a podcast, and I said, "Well, yeah, I can help you with that." And so we went down in like April of
Mm-hmm.
2018 to my at that time work studio, and we knocked out a bunch of episodes. We even recorded them for YouTube. If you want to go back
Mm-hmm.
and look at there, most of season one is on YouTube with Kathryn recording them. Which I always like to use those videos to when people ask like, "Does she really read it twice?" and all that stuff. Like, watch
Yeah.
her scroll back on her iPad and
Yep.
start over again.
Yeah.
So, and then you came back and did another batch of episodes, as I remember. And
Mm-hmm.
then and now this is the part that is murky for me in that you did everything else.
Hmm.
I just handed them back to
Yes.
you, and suddenly they were on the internet. And
Yes.
I didn't know how you did all that. I do now, but I
Yeah.
didn't at the time. You were doing all that stuff. And
Yes.
we were just sending files back and forth and
Yeah.
hoping 100 people would find it.
And that was really, I wonder like what your expectation was, because I think I thought that too. I thought we're creating something that's pretty niche and we're going to be very lucky to find a small group of people who really dig this. And I
Well,
wonder what your
yeah.
expectation was.
Once once you once you went through the first episode when we were
Mm-hmm.
recording it, I was like, I was getting a little like, like, oh, this works. So right away, I bought into the concept that
Okay.
it actually works.
Yeah.
And I was very impressed by some of the decisions you made about the show, about reading it twice, going slower.
Mm-hmm.
The the breaths, I think, has become a trademark of the show.
For sure.
But I knew it worked. I knew it was well done. And as far as I was concerned, like, if people find it, great. And if they find it works for them, great. I think it works, and I'm going to tell people about it. But,
Yeah.
And 8 years later, here we are.
Yeah. 210 million downloads later, it works.
400 episodes.
400 episodes. And, for a long time, it was just people telling other people. Finding this works for me and sharing it with somebody. So if you're out there listening and you've ever just shared the podcast, told somebody about it, thank you, because you are a really big part of how we have grown and continue to grow. So thanks for sharing, everybody. At what point did you start to think, oh, this is going to be a big thing?
I think probably when we went to weekly.
Oh yeah.
Because at the beginning, I don't even know if you really had a schedule. I think it was just like, here's this one, here's this one.
Yeah.
And then, soon it was, okay. First of all, you want to do a second season.
Mm-hmm.
So that was encouraging. And then, once we went to, we went to a bi-weekly, I think, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
And that was already like, oh man, okay, we got, I can't just do all these like 10, like in the beginning of the year, and then we just spread them out. But, and then when we went weekly, and got the attention of a platform, I was like, oh, all right. Other people are definitely interested in this.
Yeah. I think for me, there was a moment when we went from 25 downloads a day to 80 downloads a day to 200 downloads a day, and then 1,500 downloads a day.
And because of the division of labor at the time, you were the only one that knew that. Yeah. And you might tell me every once in a while, but I had no idea about any of that stuff.
Well, you and I were the only members of the team for many years.
Yeah.
It would be just you and me. I'd be like, hey, update.
Yeah.
We hit this, but within the first year, we hit 10 million downloads within the first year, which is really, really amazing.
I'm not sure I knew that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. And that's all with no advertising, which I think says a couple things. It does speak to the quality of our show, but also the incredible need that people have for a soft landing at the end of the day and a kind voice.
And then they stayed because it was effective.
For sure. Yes.
It's not some snake oil thing. It isn't.
And I think that's also why our format has stayed the same for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I think the format is part of it. There's a predictability, and you need to know what to expect. And just that familiarity of the introduction and the breathing and the 2 readings, I think it's just so critical. I met somebody a little while ago, I think when I was taking my car in to get fixed, and he was telling me how much trouble he had sleeping. And I said, well, I can help with this. And I saw him about a month later, and he rushed out to the parking lot, and he was like, my favorite thing that you say is, I'm going to tell the story twice, and I'll go a little slower the second time. And he said, the moment you said that, I just relaxed.
Pressure's off.
The pressure is off. The cognitive load is less. And so, that was just an instinctive thing for me, but I'm so glad that from the beginning, we've always had that format.
Yeah. And let me ask you, how did you how did you decide to do it that way?
That was pure intuition, because I think I was realizing how comforting it is to listen to the same thing over again or watch the same movie. I just had this feeling that, and I think I realized that it would take the pressure of you having to stay on top of anything. Mm-hmm. Even though we call it Nothing Much Happens, we tell you from the get-go, nothing's going to happen.
Right. That's why I was asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you're going to, but the first time going in, you don't know that.
You don't know. And I think if any part of your brain is trying to stay awake and listen, as soon as I tell you it'll come back around, you just relax to another level. So I think that's probably where it was coming from. Of course, all those years in the yoga room sort of helped me notice what helps people relax.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about behind the scenes. Now, you and I are not in the same room, in the same space at all when we record. So I do my recording in my booth, and then I send the file to you. And then
Mhm.
can you just kind of walk us through your process?
Oh yeah, sure. I'll get the raw file from Kathryn. I have when I open it up, I have some kind of automatic processes that I run just to get the audio up to a level where we want it to be. Then I run some more automated processes that get rid of a lot of the clicks and mouth noises that I would have. I have better software to do that now. I spent a lot more time on that in the past. And then it's just going through it. And I don't always finish a complete episode in one sitting because sometimes, I mean, even after all these years, sometimes it's like a little bit like, oof.
Yeah, you
And
zoning out.
well, it's also, and I hope you take this as the compliment it is, it's not even what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that voice. It just,
Yeah. It's that sort of hypnotic steadiness. Yeah. It even knocks me out sometimes when I'm recording and I'm pausing and yawning and I'm going, oh my gosh, I've got 3 of these to do in a row.
You commented as such in the file sometimes.
Yes.
Oh, but that's the main thing is I'm taking out everything that doesn't belong in the show.
Right.
And which is a lot less these days. So I can get them through them a lot quicker. Plus, honestly, your reading has just gotten so good over the last few years.
Shucks.
Your restarts and all that are like hardly ever.
Yeah.
And I used to have a trick where I would take advantage of the 2 takes. And if you said something weird in the first take, I'd listen to the second one and go, oh, she said it better there. And I'd replace it. I don't remember the last time I did that. I haven't done that in ages, but that was very common at the beginning.
That makes me feel very proud.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I haven't had anything like that. Now that was also back in the days when your recording was a little more challenging because you were doing it in that room before you got the booth.
Yeah.
You get a lot more outside sounds and things like that. But now that you're in that booth,
it's great.
Every once in a while, you'll ask me in the file, like, Bob, I don't know if you can hear this, Bob, and I usually can't.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah,
unless
for
it's
years
Harriet right on your lap.
Yes,
but...
Harriet, one of my dogs, sits on my lap, and every once in a while she'll, or like move around and make a little cooing sound. But for years I was recording in a room in my basement and it was incredibly uncomfortable and I just didn't have a proper setup and it wasn't really the best design for the quality of the sound either. So now I have this lovely booth. It's both comfortable and way more functional. I feel like we just get through the stuff so much more quickly, which is important because we're doing so much more content. I couldn't imagine doing it with the old setup.
Well, and that's for so what I was just talking about was for a Nothing Much Happens episode.
Yes.
A stories episode is a little more involved, obviously. I tend to spend one day prepping the voiceover and getting that perfect, and then stopping, and then coming back to it the next day to do the full mix of all the sounds and everything. And then sometimes even if I'll get a feeling like be like almost done with an episode. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like there should be more here. So I'll sit on it again, come back to it on a third day, and then go back and like, oh yeah, I should have done this. I should have done that. I don't do that as much as often anymore because I'm making better choices the right first time. But like I did the farmer's market one is an example where I went through the first pass. And then I went back and I'm like, I listened and it's like, it's not busy enough. There's not enough going on. So I added a few more layers of people doing things. And so.
The farmer's market one sounded so good. And if y'all out there haven't heard it, every month on Stories from the Village of Nothing Much, which is the daytime version of our podcast, I do a walking tour and it is just such a fun, interactive, immersive experience. And every single month when I hear it, I'm always blown away by the sound design. In our own group chat on Slack, we're all kind of going, like listen to this episode, guys,
Yeah.
because it is so good. And I often will listen more than once to those
Oh, good.
episodes. And people tell me that too. Even though I record it, it is just such a fun thing to hear. So the day it came out on Monday, I listened to it twice.
There's an Easter egg of some kind in most episodes.
Yes.
Not all of them. I can't guarantee that. But I wanted to follow up on, I think your philosophy was that I wanted to try to put a little bit of magic here and there,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's supposed to be a realistic walking tour. But then it's like, well, I'm making up the whole thing anyway. So
Yeah.
nothing of it's real. If I want to have a little sparkle going off in the background when you're talking about something cool, I can do
Yeah.
that.
Yes. And I have seen in comments that people pick up on that and sort of discover that. And that feels like a sort of secret language, which I loved. And I loved in this episode, I remember when I was writing, there's a little bit where I time travel within the episode where I
Oh,
realized in the middle of writing it, I was like, I need to go back to the beginning and tell them. And I thought, well,
oh,
maybe
you
instead
did
of
do
me
it
just,
that way. Okay.
yeah, instead of me rewriting it, I'll go. I'll
Sure.
plant that I'm going to travel in time, and it was fun, and you got to do all the time travel sounds, and so it's just
Well,
some silliness, but it was fun.
the time travel sounds were an Easter egg in themselves. If you're a good Trekkie,
Oh yes, I did.
they're a combination of the transporter sounds from the original episode and Next Generation, running forward, and then I just reversed the whole thing for you going back or going, whatever,
Yes,
back to the future. So I like to try to put in little references like that.
yes, it's super fun. I wonder if there's anything really difficult about, besides falling asleep, about your job that maybe listeners would be surprised about, or some element of editing that sounds effortless but takes a lot of work.
Mm, the the things that are most challenging are creating realistic natural environments,
Mhm.
um, because I'm creating the whole thing from scratch, and while I can, I have a very nice library I subscribe to that I use, and sometimes you have to figure out how to word something to get what you want, or the other thing is you use something that is different but passes off as what you want it to sound like.
Mm-hmm.
That happens a lot. But yes, creating a realistic outdoor is a little more challenging. Indoor is really fun because that's usually I can just throw a little reverb. Like I was re-listening to the theater walking
Mm-hmm.
tour.
Mm-hmm.
That one was almost all inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to okay, there's the coat check room. That'll sound like this. But then the basement will have to sound like this. And then we're on stage. Obviously, it's got to sound like this. So I had to, measure out things like that.
Yeah.
Plot it out. But that having been said, the walking tours are my favorite thing to do.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Absolutely. When you came up with that concept, I remember you said, I'm going to do a thing where I tell the stories in the daytime. You mean with sound effects and a theme song? That was very exciting. And when I see now we're on 127 of those, I can't.
Yes.
I'm like, I've done that many? Wow.
Yes. And sometimes I feel like I've written things specifically for you. Like when we did the bowling alley and we had the arcade, I was
Yeah.
Bob's going to have fun.
You should. Oh, yeah. And I should say stories is the only one where I follow along with the script. Mm-hmm. If it's a regular NMH episode, I don't. It's like whatever you say is whatever you said.
Yeah.
But I do follow along on the script. So I read ahead and I'm like, oh, there's an arcade. Okay. And so that's what I get to pick the video games I want to be playing in the background. And that was a fun one. Picking, if you go back to that one, see if you can tell what 80s video games are in that one.
It does let me do a lot of fun research too, because I'm always looking that stuff up and enjoying it.
It shows.
Oh, good. Thanks. I was wondering if there's anything that I tend to do in most recordings that makes you laugh or makes you roll your eyes, or just something that maybe our listeners would be surprised that I feel like I just drop into conversation with you pretty regularly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost more like when you don't have those things is more
Yes.
noticeable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can always, you always have some commentary going, something about like what time it is, or
Yes.
or somebody just came home and is making noise and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or I go, oh my God, I've got 3 of these to go.
Yeah. And of course, all of those are all rolled into my going back series that I hope we'll be able to bring here at some point.
We definitely should, because I feel like not enough people know about that. So tell people what the Going Back series is.
Well, for years, I was always threatening to take her bloopers and outtakes and put them on a blooper reel. And then finally, I realized, like, well, I should have been saving them already. So that's going to be tough. So I started at a certain point, saving these clips and piling them up. And then when I had enough of them, I strung them together. They've been living on YouTube all this time on the Daytime channel. And for the people that hear them, they really seem to like them.
Yes, I like them. I think they're really funny.
They're family friendly. I mean, there are swears, but I've bleeped them out. So it's those are the real fun ones. I think it lets people hear a different side of you, obviously, and that it's you're while you're taking this seriously, you're also having fun doing it.
I am, yes, and I am down deep a goofball, so that is always gonna come across. I know we've talked about favorite episodes in the past, and I also just wanted to expand that a little bit. Like, do you have like a favorite storyline or a favorite character or location that when you see, oh, we're going back to this, you want to see what happens next or anything like that?
Yeah. Well, still, my favorite episode is still unchallenged, season 3, episode 12, Someplace Only We Know. And I was very excited when that came around to stories.
Yes.
Because I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I did, and I think it turned out pretty good.
I just wonder, what is it about that story that makes it still your favorite?
The stories of yours that I like the most are ones that I can picture a place where they are.
Okay.
And by that, I mean a real place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually in Holly.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So usually, like for that one, I went a different way. I pictured a place in the Arb, in Ann Arbor, that I could picture that story taking place in. So that's the thing. It's when you create such a world that I can really see myself there. And those tend to be the ones about where you're talking about an event specifically is going through, not just someone's going through their day or something.
Right.
But so I really like the ones where I can read it and listen and go, oh, I know what she's talking about. Whenever you mention the yoga studio, I mean,
obviously you spend time there, you know what that's like.
Well, and you say there's a train out back and everything. It's like, well, there is,
There is, yes.
So those are fun ones when you place them in what I call the real world.
Yeah.
So I do like those. I've been really enjoying your bonus episodes this year. The prose.
Prose poetry. Prose poetry. Yeah.
You're really stepping into Virginia Woolf territory with those. it's
Thank you.
Really, really nice. I really enjoy those. And let me throw in another shout out for something that doesn't get mentioned a lot is First This, which if you aren't listening to First This, folks, you want like to mainline Kathryn energy without a story, having to be a story. I mean, there usually is some kind of like Zen story, but oh my gosh, they're just great. You've been on a roll with those lately, and maybe it's like people feel like they need them more right now.
Yes,
but First This is fantastic. Everyone needs to check them out. They're so short.
Yes.
And you can, yes, you can do the whole, oh, I don't want to meditate, I can't think of nothing. And it's like, well, that's what I thought it was too. And it's not.
It's not.
You
Yeah.
can't
My goal with
do
those
it
two.
wrong.
Yes.
That should be the motto of meditation. You can't do it wrong.
You can't do it wrong. And I feel like having spent all those years putting in the hours as a yoga and meditation teacher, nothing makes me crazier than hearing meditation poorly explained in a way that makes people blame the natural functioning of their brain,
Yeah.
as if there's something wrong with it. So I really wanted it to be 10 minutes down to earth. Anybody could do it. Simple. You can do it. People tell me sometimes when they're on the train to work or,
Yeah.
while they're washing dishes, you don't have to have a meditation cushion and sit down. It is just this useful little practice. So, and now we have a couple hundred episodes of those.
Yeah. And that's one where I actually do get the benefit while I'm listening to it and editing it. It's just because, it's not a story I have to follow or anything like that. I really do pay attention while I'm editing it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take that long either. So
right.
Yeah, those are great. I'd love to see more people getting into those.
Yeah. Hopefully the app will help us introduce, because I still meet people. Yesterday I had a call with a famous internet dog. More about that later. And their people have been listening since the first season and had no idea that I had a meditation podcast and I didn't know anything about Stories from the Village of Nothing Much. So, one of my big hopes with the app is just that we get to introduce more villagers to more of the ways that we can help them.
I love the feed on the app. It's like, here's all the things, like, oh, here's this thing and here's this thing.
Yes.
It's not, they are in their own silos, but
you don't have to go looking for them. They're right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see. Looking ahead, we have something exciting coming up, because I had this concept a little while ago that I wanted to tell a story about a radio station in Nothing Much Happens, which of course is WNMH.
Radio.
Yep.
Oh, I'm working on that, believe me.
I know you are. So the whole time I was writing it, I was thinking of you being the narrator of that story. And it made it really fun to write, and honestly very easy to write. And I thought, okay, well, this is probably going to be a regular storyline we'll come back to seasonally. And of course, then you could interview other people in the village and it'll be all these fun things. But it made me think something that we could create for the app is, a little radio station version on the app, and you could actually tell us what's the weather today in the village, who's got a birthday this week, what are the community happenings. So tell me what your thoughts are about that.
One of my favorite things to do at Specs Howard when I was going to school there was making radio promos. So I'm ready for this.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Now this is where it gets weird for me, because I don't tend to lean into things like this, but about when I'll just say I was doing another episode, and I thought that the protagonist of that episode sounded like someone else.
Okay.
Someone real.
Okay.
She's listening right now. And I thought, what if a character was based on me? What would that be like? That's like, I'd love to do a radio station. And this was just like a couple of weeks ago. I thought, how do I bring this up? How do I bring this up? And then you sent me the script called WNMH. And I was like, is she listening to me or something? And it was
all the little harmonies.
It was exactly what it was. So my mind was already there.
I'm so glad.
And it was like, I didn't even have to make the pitch. Wow. Okay.
Nope, but I am always open to pitches, Bob.
That's something that's going to be tough for me, because as much as I get what you're doing and I see how effective it is, my mind does not write that way. I do need like a car chase at the end.
Yeah.
That was my joke for a lot of years, was that every episode ends in a car crash. Prove me wrong.
People just are asleep.
A car chase, I mean. But so when you sent that in, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I read the script, And I'm like, dang, she did some research. This is good.
We did.
She got all the moves right and everything. And then so I was really impressed.
Thank
And
you.
now all I can hear now is me doing what you read, but in my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were now, when I say you got everything right, the only thing you didn't get right was what you need for the show, which was you were speaking slowly and calmly and quietly with a lot of pauses, and that would get you fired on radio, unless it was like public radio or something.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to
that's
stoop it up
why
a little bit.
when we do it for Stories from the Village, then you could actually play that part, and it will be perfect then.
We'll see if the listeners are ready for that. Maybe I'll get them warmed up by the time that shows up on Stories.
I think they'll be warmed up. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes. But yeah, that's great that you did that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun.
I think so.
All right, let's go into some of our listener questions. Misty just wants you to know, Bob, that for the first year or so, she could have sworn that your name was Chuck Whitaker.
Chuck Whitaker.
Chuck Whitaker, which the funny thing is that my nickname is Chuck, and I saw a friend. Right. It is. It has been
I have heard that.
From high school, and I went to lunch today with one of my friends from high school, and when she introduced me to her kids, she said, "This is my friend Chuck."
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So, Misty, maybe you were tuning into something there.
Yeah.
Rita says, my question is about the Village of Nothing Much. So Stories from the Village of Nothing Much music. She loves the music, which is so often part of the soundscapes. And she'd like to know if there's a musical playlist or a set of links to full-length version of those songs.
No. And I'll explain why. The music that I use and the sound effects on Stories are from a subscription service, which means I pay a fee for the right to license these tracks and use them for commercial purposes. Mm-hmm. So what that means is they're not exactly like ready to be listened to by civilians, if that makes sense. The only thing I could say is if you ever hear a classical piece on there that you like, I could at least tell you which one it is. Mm-hmm. Because I do like to use classical pieces every once in a while in the background. But I hope that makes sense. It's not like there's a jukebox somewhere with all these songs in it. Yeah. And the artists that make them for this purpose. They have chosen to do this rather than try to be like a touring musician or something. So,
right on.
I hope that.
Well, actually, this interview I had, or this phone call I had yesterday with this famous internet dog, his dad makes meditation music and had no idea that I taught a meditation podcast. And so he said, should we collaborate? So, I think just like we've now done soundscapes on our NMH episodes for the app, that could be something that we bring, to our meditation. Also, maybe just having a channel of his music that people could play in the background for when they want like very calming stuff.
I see.
Yeah, so we can grow this stuff all the time. Let's see. How did Bob and I meet? We met through a mutual friend. And I feel like that would have been probably a couple years before.
Yeah.
Before I talked to you about the podcast.
I had moved out of the area. We were both in Holly. Well, you were working in Holly and I was living in Holly, but I had moved away at the time. And I don't think I had even talked to you in maybe like a year before you called me.
Probably. Yeah. So but my radar was still like, who could help? And I'm so glad I reached out. Do you have a favorite village animal?
Animal. I do like Sycamore.
Yeah.
Because I like the way he's just like master of the inn. I've got a cat like that who's right over there, and I'm surprised he hasn't tried to jump on me yet. But he's like that. He has the run of the house, and he knows where everything is, and he's kind of we have 3 other cats. He's kind of like the leader. So he reminds me of him. Blue.
Awesome.
He's right over there sleeping, not bothering me. But I like Sycamore. And then is it Cinder? Is that at
Yes.
the Curios?
Yep.
Okay.
The gray cat. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cinder's fun because obviously there's something going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing an Easter egg that I didn't even remember I planted in an episode that was on Stories recently, where someone is walking through the old section of downtown and there's a mural and Cinder is painted into the mural.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
so it's like she's watching over all the time, so we'll hopefully get to learn more about her magic.
And I always love going to Weathervane Farm.
Oh yeah, Weathervane Farm is really fun. My favorite animal there is probably Frigo. I've really fallen in love with Frigo, the husky. Yeah,
Oh right.
so
Okay. Oh,
I
that's right.
I recently pitched
That was a tough one.
a movie. I can't say where, but I recently pitched a movie about some things happening in the village, and it was sort of a romance, and it was basically the dog who is a matchmaker. It was very silly,
Dog?
but Frigo like creates like a match made in heaven, and so all my animals always have something extra special going on.
You reminded me, Frigo was an example of something that was tough because I didn't know this, but huskies just sound like they're crying all the time,
Yes.
even when they're happy.
Yes.
So that was a challenge to find some effects that didn't sound like they were being hurt or something. But I'm like, well, I hope everybody knows this is just what huskies sound like. So
I have seen the videos where they almost sound like they're talking, and
yeah,
they're super whiny sounding, but Dusty wants to know, just how did you become so cool?
Oh.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to ask my wife about that. But, I don't know. Keep my head down and do good work.
Yeah.
Be reliable.
Be the good guy, the smart guy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Some of these you've already answered. One person asked, "Is there a script?" Which I thought, my dear, how do you think I'm doing this? Just coming up with it off the cuff and then repeating it? Yes, there is a script for everything. There is a script.
Long form improv.
Yes. And the thing about my memory is it's so patchy. I can't remember things. A lot of times I'll leave you a note in a message or in a recording, and then you'll answer it, but it will be several days later, and I'll be like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sometimes when you get really ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, Nikki wants to know, and this one I think is for both of us, has the village become your full-time job? She says, I think I remember they used to have a yoga studio. So that part's for me. Yes, I did own a yoga studio for 15 years. It still exists, but I did sell it to a member of my staff. It just celebrated 20 years in the community. And I really just met a moment where I had to pick a lane. And in order to create at the level and amount that I wanted to and branch off into new practices and projects, I had to step away. But the fun thing about the app is that now I can get back into some yoga teaching. I've recorded, some 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute practices that people can do on the app. So I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds. What about you, Bob?
Oh yeah, I would have been not this January, but last January. Do I have that right, or is it even one more after that?
I think it might be one more.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to a level where the show was successful enough, and I didn't need my day job anymore. So I'm doing the same thing I did at my day job, but not for cars and supermarkets anymore. So I worked at a commercial voiceover company where I edited commercials all 30 seconds at a time, all day long. Boom, 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 boom. And that's, it's the work I wanted to be doing when I got out of school, but it's the content sometimes gets you down, especially political stuff.
Oh yeah.
You had to edit these ads that were just such garbage, and you just had to do it. Yeah. So now I'm here and I get to do all nice stuff.
Yes, and more on your own schedule, which is great. Oh, yeah. So yeah. because I know you're at home, but you've got your family, and you get to spend time doing stuff. And to me, that is one of the biggest joys of watching Nothing Much Happens grow, is I get to employ my friends, and we all get to be successful together.
Hmm.
And that's such a lovely thing to be able to see, like, oh, all of our lives just got a little softer.
And
Awesome.
then the feedback that we get, about,
Yes.
I guess I think I meant to say that earlier. Like that was one thing I didn't expect
Hmm.
when we were starting out, was these heartfelt comments, and like, oh, well, I'm glad my squiggling made you feel better. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of what I wanted to end with,
Yeah.
is when you think about the millions of people who we have helped to fall asleep listening to the stories, are there any stories or bits of feedback or bits of, we call them listener love, that really stand out for you or shocked you or shook you?
Um, yeah. Earlier on, you would get specific requests from people. And I'm trying to be careful here because I don't want everybody sending in a bunch of requests.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. So to be
We're
clear,
busy. We're
this
busy.
is something we used to do.
Yes.
And you would do like these messages for people's like
Oh,
wedding
yeah.
proposals. I'm only bringing it up because they were such important things that these
Yes.
people wanted your voice with the intro to the show. And then it would switch to like, something more personalized. But what you do like on Cameo now, really.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can do it on Cameo.
Yeah. But my favorite one, well, I don't know if you remember this, was the little, when the kids write in and have requests. It's like, how can you not do that? And the kid wanted one about a hockey game. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't remember. I think I just wrote like a very short little
I wrote
piece
it.
for him. Oh, you
I
wrote
wrote
it.
it.
That's right.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
what happened was you said, I've got this kid wants to do an episode about a hockey game. And I said, I watched hockey all my life. I'll write it if you want. I can mimic your style, I think, for that.
Yes.
And so I wrote it. It was just a couple minutes long. But then you recorded it and we went back to him, and I couldn't imagine how exciting that must have been. Yeah, kids listening to the show has been a real surprise
And that's why I think we even changed the opening
to
line. It
everyone.
used
Yeah.
to be, yeah, bedtime stories for grown-ups. And not because they weren't ever family friendly. They always were, but I just didn't think that, not having kids in my immediate circle, I didn't know if kids would relate to this. But I meet
Mm-mm.
kids all the time who listen every single night. So
That's
that was
amazing.
surprising for me too. And I loved making those messages for people. You absolutely can request me on Cameo. And but I feel like we've never turned anybody down. If anybody, we've gotten to be there in some pretty special
Careful.
moments for people.
Yeah.
And that is always kind of an honor for me. So
Yeah.
I just saw Megan dropped in the chat. Kathryn, do you ever feel like so much is resting on you? Pun intended. I do feel the weight of the responsibility that the place that the show holds for so many people. And we are, all of us on the team, I would say, very protective of the show and of y'all listeners. None of us are cavalier about this. It is all very serious. So we do feel the weight, but also I feel like it is 10 times outnumbered by the joy. So, I feel like I wouldn't trade it in at all. I feel so lucky that I get to do this, that this is my job, and that, I get to be there and carry that weight for other people. When I was a yoga teacher, one of the lines that we would always start our teacher training with was a line from The Catcher in the Rye, which is just about people sometimes coming through the rye, and could someone be there to catch them? And I was like, I'll do that. That sounds good to me. And Alina says, you two are such gracious and kind human beings. Well, thank you.
Try.
We try. Don't catch me in line at the post office. But we're almost about to wrap up. But if anybody has one last question that they want to throw at us, or Bob, if you have anything that you want to mention before we head out?
No, I'm amazed that we're here.
Yeah.
We have an app.
We have an app.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's no, I did come up with I came up with a rule of thumb the other day though, because I've seen you've done a lot of interviews lately.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've made it completely when they stop asking your origin story.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you tell that, a lot of times.
A lot of times.
And I want to get to that point where everyone knows the story of how you started this. And so now what's next, So once we get past that, that's a hump still to get over.
Yeah, it is. But, we've got, besides the app, there are projects coming up in the next calendar year, in this next year ahead of us, that are going to be even more exciting, that are going to bring new people into the village, that are going to bring the village to new worlds. As more of those things get finalized, we'll share them with you. But in the meantime, everybody on the team is so happy to be doing this. By the way, Megan just commented, nothing much happens, because I don't know how we missed that.
It's our My Fair Lady podcast.
And Nate, let me know that all of our lives will be automatically viewable, video on demand afterwards. It should take a couple minutes usually for it to finish like uploading and moving around, but it will be right on the main feed, and probably stored at the theater. I don't know if we know the answer to that yet, Nate. We're still figuring a few things out. And I should say the app, as lovely as it is going to get 10 times prettier, 10 times lovelier in the next about 2 months. So we are working behind the scenes to make things even groovier. And we want this app to be for you. So anytime you want to give us feedback, we want to know it. We want to know what features you want, other ways that we can make the world more lively and whimsical and fun. So, help us help you. Let us have all the feedback you want. And Megan says this is only the beginning. That is true. So everyone, thank you so much for spending this time in the village of nothing much. I know I've said this before. I know I'm just a stranger on the internet, but I hope you can feel how genuinely and deeply we care about you and how much we hold you in this safe place that is the village of nothing much. So thank you so much for being our neighbors. We built it and you came. We'll see you soon. We'll have another live scheduled soon. In the meantime, sweet dreams, everybody.